Let's get one thing straight here. Owning a Rolex isn't just about telling time. It's about the feeling, the status. But let me guess, you've heard all of this before, right? Well, here's the thing. There are a few secrets, unspoken rules, and quirky moments that only those who own a Rolex truly get. And trust me, if you've ever strapped one of these on, you're definitely going to know exactly what I'm talking about. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you're going to find out exactly what separates a Rolex owner from, well, everyone else. Number 1, the first time moment. Okay, imagine this. You finally got your Rolex. It's shiny, it's beautiful, and it's now your pride and joy. But the first time you slip it on, you freeze. Like, no joke, you literally stop mid-conversation, mid-step, or even mid-laugh just to look at it. It's like a time machine in your hand. Except it's not just telling time, it's changing it. It's kind of like you've stepped into a new world, one where everything feels a little more elevated, a little more refined. And suddenly, you're aware of every movement, every flick of the wrist. You might catch yourself walking a little straighter, sitting a little more upright, because this piece isn't just a watch, it's a whole vibe. It feels expensive, even when you're wearing sweatpants. Every glance at that polished face makes you feel like you're part of something exclusive, something legendary. It's more than just time. It's about precision, craftsmanship, and that quiet confidence that comes with owning a true symbol of success. You're still getting used to it, but let's be real here. You're never going to get used to the feeling of seeing that crown on your wrist. It's addicting. The way it catches the light, the way it feels solid yet effortless. And the best part, you're not even ashamed of it. You're just adjusting to greatness. It's almost like you've unlocked a new version of yourself, and you are savoring every second of it. Number 2, that subtle flex. Your Rolex never has to speak for itself. It just does the talking for you. You know how it is. You're sitting there in a meeting trying to maintain your composure, but there's always that one person who just can't help themselves. You catch them glancing at your wrist and then quickly looking away, trying to pretend that they didn't just notice that iconic design. It's like a secret handshake. The moment they spot it, they get it. And suddenly, you two are having a conversation in your heads about all the ways that you've earned that piece of luxury. No words needed. You don't need to shout about your success or wealth. Your Rolex does that in silence, in a way that's somehow classy and humble at the same time. But trust me, every Rolex owner knows someone is definitely noticing. And honestly, it feels good. Number 3, the dilemma of the second watch. Ah yes, the second watch dilemma. Now, when you first get your Rolex, it's like, this is it. You're living the dream. And then, slowly but surely, the temptation creeps in. You find yourself looking at other watches. Maybe it's another Rolex model, or maybe you're eyeing something totally different. But the thought does cross your mind, what if I get another one? But here's the thing. Once you've worn a Rolex, wearing anything else on your wrist just doesn't feel the same. Sure, you might glance at another watch and think it's cool, but will it feel right? Will it give you that little boost of swagger? It is tough to replicate that feeling once you've stepped into Rolex territory. This is the paradox. The second watch will never fully replace the first, and yet you still want it. It's like a mix of luxury addiction and commitment issues. We've all been there. Number 4, the watch-related discussions. As soon as you're a Rolex owner, you're going to notice that people will want to talk watches with you. And I'm not talking about the casual, hey, nice watch. I'm talking about deep dive questions like, what's the movement like? Or, how do you feel about the Oyster Perpetual versus the Datejust? Now, at first, you might find yourself being caught off guard by the level of detail that people are interested in, but soon enough, you're going to begin to immerse yourself in the world of horology. It's as if you've been inducted into a secret society where the only members are those who have invested the time, research, and passion into understanding every nuance of their watches. Before long, you're able to discuss the finer points of Rolex craftsmanship with ease, whether it's the intricate workings of the movement, the history behind specific models, Or the subtle differences that set one piece apart from another? And even if you don't know the answers right away, it is never a problem. Rolex owners are part of a tight-knit community, and there's always someone who knows the details, ready to share their expertise. It's a reflection of the watch world's culture, where the appreciation for fine timepieces extends far beyond the watch itself. It is a lifestyle, a commitment, and a passion that connects you with others who share the same appreciation for precision and beauty. Number 5, the love-hate relationship with water resistance. You know that your Rolex is built to withstand the elements, right? But when you first get it, there is this paranoia that kicks in about water. You hesitate to wear it to the beach. You avoid getting it near anything wet. Even though you know that it's water resistant to depths that could probably drown a small submarine, you still get this little twinge of fear. And then, one day, you just let go. You dive into a pool, or you wear it in the rain, and you realize this thing can take it. You've just crossed a boundary. In its place is the full realization that your Rolex is actually indestructible. Okay, maybe not indestructible, but close enough. Number 6, the unexpected weight of responsibility. This one's a bit heavier, but it is important. The first time you realize the true weight of your Rolex isn't about the literal weight on your wrist, it's the emotional weight. You see, when you wear a Rolex, you don't just carry a watch. You carry the history, the craftsmanship, and the legacy of a brand that is built for the elite. And with that comes a certain sense of responsibility. You start to understand why Rolex is often referred to as more than a watch. It's a symbol of ambition, success, and even legacy. Whether you pass it down to your kids or you simply wear it every day, you begin to see that this piece isn't just an accessory, it's a part of your journey. It reminds you that you have worked hard for what you've achieved, and it pushes you to keep going. Sometimes it's like the watch becomes the silent motivator, pushing you forward with every tick of the second hand. Number 7, the "it's just a watch" debate. This is where the haters come in. People who just don't get it. The ones who say stuff like, "It's just a timepiece," or "You're really going to spend that much on a watch?" And here's the thing. You get it. You understand the value of Rolex, not just in terms of its price tag, but in what it represents. It's an investment, a piece of art, and a personal statement all wrapped up into one. But here's where it gets fun. You know that they're never going to get it. They won't ever understand the feeling of staring at a Rolex, or the joy of having a conversation with another Rolex owner. And that's okay. The beauty of owning a Rolex is that you don't have to explain it to everyone. You're not doing it for approval. You're doing it because it makes you feel amazing. And sometimes that's the whole point. And number 8, the watchmaker's love. So this one hits when you've been a Rolex owner for a while, and then suddenly you're looking at ways to customize it. Whether it's swapping out the bracelet for a leather strap, getting a new bezel, or going all out with a dial change, once the upgrade bug bites, there's no going back. You start thinking, what if I could make this one of a kind? What if I could make it even more me? It's like a never-ending project where you're continually fine-tuning and adjusting your watch to match your evolving personality. And you know what? It's fun. It's one of those things that keeps you constantly engaged with your Rolex as you start to shape it into a timepiece that's even more personal, more you. So, do you agree with these points? Or are there some that you've experienced that didn't make the list? If you are a Rolex owner, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you're still dreaming about that first Rolex, I'm sure this video gave you a glimpse into what lies ahead. Just remember something. It's not about the watch itself. It's about what it represents, the feeling, and the experience that it creates along the way. So now it's your turn. Want to share your insights or experiences with Rolex? Drop a comment down below and I will be sure to respond to every single one of you. Like and subscribe if you love elegant timepieces. And if you don't subscribe, it means I'm just going to have to wait another day to onboard you. See you in the next one.